Okay, augmented chords. We need to talk about those now. They're really useful. Watch this. I'll show you why first, just so you're not bored out of your mind just from hearing the word augmented. It's just this weird, okay. Check this out. I'm on the 1. I'm going to go to the 4. 1, 4. In the last video, I showed an interesting way to go from the 4 to the 1. Instead of doing a 4, do a 4 minor, or as well, like do a major and then minor. Okay, now we're going to talk about going from the 1 to the 4, but building tension in between. One classic way to do that is by using an augmented chord. First, the effect, then we'll go into the theory. You hear that? It's pretty good. Now, what's going on? It's the 1 chord, but I make it augmented. Now, just like, remember diminished and minor? Remember the difference between those? You've got a minor chord, root 3, 5. To make it diminished, you take the 5 and bring it down a half step, right? Instead of, it's, oh gosh, I gotta look while I'm doing it. I'm not that good at guitar, but minor, diminished. Okay, here's major, or I want to make it augmented. Raise the 5 a half step. Augmented. That's just C augmented. Augmented and diminished chords tend to be easier to play on piano than guitar. A lot of things are easier on piano, in some ways, an easier instrument. But you just look it up on chord charts, and there are ways to play it, and you can get good at them. Or you can figure it out yourself. Just take a major and then find where the 5s are in it. Da 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 da. There's the 5. Gotta raise it without changing the other notes. Okay. That's a note that's not in the scale. It's not in the key of C. It's borrowed from outside of it. Just like when you did a minor 4, you used a note that wasn't usually in the key. Usually this one is, but not this one. Same thing. And in fact, it's the same note. The exact same note. So watch this. 1 augmented. Gonna go to the 4 chord. 4 minor. Hear that? Awesome. Now, I'm not suggesting that. I mean, of course, I am. You could do it. You could do chords in that order, right? It's a very short chord progression, but it's totally fine. But you can also do different things. Just a way to get from the 1 to the 4. That is probably the most common use of augmented chords, and it's a really, it's probably the most common, and yet it's not that common. Like, a lot of people don't know about this, but you can do it, and it does that thing of building a little more tension. It sounds cool, and it creates that little chromatic melody. I haven't talked about the word chromatic yet. Haven't talked about it. I will later. Okay, but it's that little in-between note that builds all the tension that doesn't belong there normally, but when you add it, wants to go to the one right above it, and there's a chord that comes with that, right? When you throw a chord in there, then it just, again, that little melodic thing ties together the chord change and makes it more punchy, more powerful, more, well, not punchy in the sense of quick, but builds more tension, okay? So, that is not at all used on the vast majority of going from 1 to 4. Neither is 4 minor, right? It's much more rare than it is common, but it's a relatively common way of making a 1 to 4 transition more interesting. That's it.